All right, just like I promised, here's the second video, and this one will be of your lowers. We got all of our uppers done. Lowers are pretty simple. Like I said, you got usually 3 cabinets. Now, you would have probably another cabinet here. We don't have one because we're putting a dishwasher in here. But first thing you want to do is you're going to want to figure out what side you want to start from. You want to measure your appliances, see kind of what you're working with here. So like I said once before, we've got a stove going in here. So we know that's going to be a 30-inch opening period because that's your stove size. You can start on this side if it's just the fridge that's going in here because it's relatively easy just to figure out. You'd make your opening 30-inch and then you would slap your cabinet here. But we got a dishwasher going in here. So that's one reason why we've only got 3 cabinets. Pretty easy, like I said, you just measure from your corner to 30 inches, which I've already done. This cabinet is good to seat, but you want to make it 30 so that you can slide your stove in. You want to check how level everything is too, once you've got your space figured out, because I mean, that's quite a bit of play on that. So we'll shim up the front with just some regular old shims. Because what'll happen is once everything's done, then you go back through and you put your toe kick in and you'll never see that shim. Pretty easy. The hardest part really would be leveling everything, making sure your fascias all match and all that. And we've got to get all this piping inside of here. Now, normally that's relatively easy. If you're going with a cheap cabinet, you just pull the backer board off and squish your cabinet up and you're good to go. Now, we're using pretty good cabinet, pretty high quality, pretty sturdy. So what we'll do is we'll just cut out a square and flush it up. And then the problem with that is you want to make you can measure from the top here to the bottom of whatever pipe you've got, like this pipe. You can measure to the bottom of that. That'll give you your opening, and then you go from side to side. That'll give you your opening on the width. Now, the only thing you've got to keep in mind is when you measure to the bottom of that pipe, you're gonna want to give yourself, I don't know, a ½ inch, maybe a full inch, because you've got to level this cabinet. So once you get it all seated up, it's gonna look great. Like, oh yeah, look at that, I cut the hole perfect. Until you level it, and then you're gonna have to cut more. So just cut it inch, ½ inch more than what you need. Give it a little bit of a play. Other than that, I don't think I'm doing the countertop, but countertop's easy peasy. Yes, we do have one here. You can get them custom fabricated to the size you want, or you can just buy a slab, which I think that's what they did. And then you just cut it to your length that you need. Now, this one's a little bit more finicky because you got to remember you've got a sink that's got to go in here. So you're going to dry fit this countertop first, see where everything is going to line up at, and then you'll take your sink out of your box, flip it over to where it lays flat on the countertop, draw your line out, then you can take it outside, cut out that, and then dry fit your sink. The reason being is because once you dry fit that and everything looks good, you pull your dry fitted countertop off. And then you come over here. There's a couple of different ways to adhere a countertop to a cabinet. We're gonna, if I do this, it'll be the easy way. And we'll liquid nail all of these parts right here. So once you put your countertop on, all that liquid nail dries and you won't be able to pull your countertop up. So your countertop doesn't just fall off. But easy peasy. I mean, like I said once before, it's not rocket scientist kind of work. Just takes a little time. It took me about 15 minutes to do the uppers. And that's usually your hardest part. So it'll probably take me 30 minutes to do the lowers just because I got to cut out this section. And it's pretty thick wood, so. But yeah, easy peasy.